3 at 3? Well, number one, we press the button and get started with the presentation. That's usually what happens. It's anybody's guess, though. So here we are. It is the 12th of August. I am John Najarian, and this is 3 at 3, where I present to you unusual option activity. Today I'm down in Michigan City, Indiana, because I had to come down on some business down here. And so I'm on the street outside of the cafe where I picked up my nice freshly brewed cup of joe. Let's get to our presentation. Disclaimer first, this is for educational and informational purposes only, full stop. Intellectual property, yeah. If you'd like to use any of the information that I'm going to present, please ask us first. We'd be happy to provide that. If you ask for permission, we're going to be very easy on you. If you don't, then it's a little more difficult, because we have registered marks, trademarks, patents on various processes that I'm going to describe for you, and we don't want to get the lawyers involved. So please just ask and or cite us, Market Rebellion, in anything that you use from this presentation. All right, ConocoPhillips, COP. Bullish call activity, yeah, a lot of it in here today. Bullish call activity, you know that I talked earlier about BP Amoco. That's what we used to call it instead of British Petroleum, BP Amoco, because they bought Amoco. But Conoco, they bought 3,200 of the AUG 43 calls. They paid 31 cents up to 45 cents for those in one single print. So that's a lot. You know, 3,000 times 45 bucks, you guys get the idea. That's a decent chunk of money. I want to follow people who put that kind of commitment into their trades. And so it is a stock that does not have earnings for a while. So instead, we think this is just a play into next week, that we continue to see a recovery in some of the materials and some of the so-called value rather than growth stocks, although it's not a bad day for growth stocks. There's ConocoPhillips today, virtually same price as where it was when I saw this unusual activity earlier today. ConocoPhillips, you see that nice move off the Monday and Friday. The Friday low was more or less 37.50, and now we're pushing up 41.50 to see a move of $4 that fast, over 10% in the stock. Pretty nice. Let's keep our eye on it. And I also like our odds, especially if you're somebody who occasionally does those call spreads, owning, for instance, and at the money, and selling and out of the money above it. Because if you're seeing activity at the 43 strike, there's nothing says that you couldn't buy the 41s, sell the 43s, buy the 42s, sell the 44s. A bunch of those kind of strategies might work out nicely, because you address theta, which is time decay, as well as vega volatility. Bang! Second of our 3 at 3, Network Appliance, NTAP. 43.47. They bought 5,000 of the 2-week from Friday expiration calls. So basically end of August calls. They bought the 43 calls that expire in 2 weeks and 2 days for $2.35. They also sold the August 45 calls against it and collected 40 cents. So that's basically a net debit of right around the difference between $2.35 and 40 cents. So these calls that they're selling were aggressively pitched, and they're selling regular August 45 calls. So it's also a play that maybe we make a move and those calls don't get as affected as these calls. Bang. There's Network Appliance there as it trades basically 43.20. Again, when we saw it, it was 43.47 earlier today. If you'd like to learn more about what we're doing over at Market Rebellion, if you'd like to learn about spreading, if you'd like to learn about time decay, volatility compression, or if you just want to learn cryptocurrencies or futures or stock trading and charting, We have classes for you over at marketrebellion.com. Just go over to marketrebellion.com. You could learn all about it, folks. All right, let's get to our third and final trade of the 3 at 3. And it is one of the biggest stocks out there, Microsoft. $1 trillion club. Microsoft trading $206.90 roughly. 23,000 calls that expire this Friday, 2 days hence. These options have 2 days to live. So I was already, this was my number 3 largest position. You guys, I think many of you know, no, this is number 2. They are in order: Apple, Microsoft, and Facebook. Those are my 3 largest holdings. Microsoft, I love this action, folks. The 14th of August expiration calls, really like the way that sets up at the 210 strike, which is just, let's call it $3 out of the money. When we saw this was at 11:29 a.m. this morning, and they paid, let's say, an average price around $1.50, $1.55. That's about where I'm in these calls. The open interest was 13,000, which means at least 10,000 of these were opening new trades today. Okay, let's see where the stock is now. Bang, 209.36. So in other words, the stock has rallied not by $3, but by about $2.50. It's a pretty nice upside surge over at Microsoft, and we have profited already today. I've already taken money off the table today. Half of this position already gone. So if you're somebody who's in these calls, or if you bought a lower strike call and you sold these calls, first of all, if you did that, congratulations, that's a great trade. I think you really need to be aware of that theta, that time decay. So please, when you're in the deep end of the pool, which is what weekly options are, the deep end of the pool, you got to be acutely aware of time decay and volatility compression. So when you get a $3 move nearly on a stock this fast, you got to take some money off the table. You decide for yourself. What I do is, when a stock goes 2x, when the options double, I take half of it off the table, put it in my pocket. The other half I let run, and if it starts easing back, I take the whole thing off. Right now I still have 50% of this position on. I am John Najarian. If you'd like to learn more about all the cool stuff that we do over at Market Rebellion, just go on over to marketrebellion.com/UOA for unusual option activity. That's marketrebellion.com/UOA. You know you want it. This is what we do for a living, folks, and it's been a good living for 38 years doing this. Check it out, marketrebellion.com/UOA. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow on the Halftime Report. Bang.